$115,000 a year.
Oh, this is including the bonuses you're talking about?
Including the bonus, yes.
Okay. I mean, again, as much as like I said, even despite the cold weather in New York, like, I would like to be in New York, but frankly, this other offer in San Francisco is...
The candidate's open-armed gestures suggest his plea for a better salary. His arm motions and banging on the table show his dissatisfaction with the employer's willingness to meet his needs.
You know, in terms of the side.
Well, it's, I mean, I would think that 100,000 is already a huge jump from 67.
The employer's motion of placing his hand on his chin shows that he is contemplating the counteroffer made by the candidate. The candidate's hand on his head shows his continued frustration about the current offer.
For me, the relocation expenses are also something that's fairly considerable going coast to coast. So I think you know, maybe if we could maybe address some of those, I could think about the starting date flexibility.
Okay.
The employer's showing a position of power by crossing his legs and leaning back. Taking off his glasses can be seen as letting his guard down and indicating his readiness to negotiate an agreement. However, taking off one's glasses can also be a sign of frustration or anger, depending on the context of the situation.
Have you priced out? I mean, do you have a sense of how much it might cost you to move?
Yeah, I got a quote for the total moving expenses, which is around $3,000.
Okay.
For a sort of car and.
The employer's nodding shows his understanding of the candidate's priorities.
I see you have a few really good internships related to marketing and specifically in the software sector. So could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure.
Internships?
The employer's posture of leaning to one side suggests a casual environment.
At the graphics company, making sure that we gather customer input.
The candidate is fidgeting with her pen, which can often show nervousness. Be mindful of fidgeting and hand gestures, as they can be distracting or a sign of weakness.
So it'd probably be, and you've made a very, I mean, it's a totally legitimate request, but at the same time, our salary...
The candidate is making intense eye contact with the employer, which can be seen as intimidating. The employer may feel uncomfortable and breaks eye contact during his response.
Because I want to ensure a smooth transition.
Nonverbal gestures between members of the opposite sex can sometimes be used to one's advantage.
Well, I definitely did my homework before I came to to our meeting, and I know that the company has been doing very well. This particular company has been, has had
The candidate is expressing much interest through her smiley nature, which can even be interpreted as borderline flirting. Notice the way she is leaning into the employer. Negotiations can be influenced when there is an attraction between parties.
Offering me a little bit higher salary.
Yeah. I can understand, like a candidate like you, I'm sure they're like vultures circling such a great candidate from business school. But I mean, I think the terms that I've just offered you are extremely attractive.
Notice the flirtatious tilting of the head when the candidate mentions salary. In this case, this gambit proves somewhat effective, as can be heard in the employer's response.
In the last clips, we highlighted some nonverbal gestures, but sometimes a lack of body language can also be used as a signal in a negotiation. A lack of body language can be seen as showing a loss or lack of interest in a negotiation.
Well, that's my experience in the general industry. I'm fairly well. I guess we can work with that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it was good meeting with you.
Okay, great. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Nice doing business with you.